Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's episode of Top Knockouts, episode 11. Now just a quick intro, if you're new, what I do is prior to every fight night event, prior to every pay-per-view event, I look at all of the fighters participating on the main card of that event, of that upcoming event, and I look at their knockouts within the UFC. It has to be within the UFC. So Dana White's Contender Series doesn't count, outside of the UFC doesn't count, the Ultimate Fighter doesn't count. Except if it is the finale, because that's on an official UFC card, which makes it an official UFC fight. So I look at every fighter on the main card, I look at their knockout wins within the UFC, and I pick their best knockout win. Then I basically just rank every single fighter's best knockout win from number 5 to number 1. Now usually we would have honorable mentions because everything is based off of my opinion, and sometimes my opinion sucks. Unfortunately this week there aren't any honorable mentions, but I do have some gems. So without any further ado, let's start this week's list. Prior to doing so, just a friendly reminder, if you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. I would really appreciate that. Really goes a long way in helping the growth of this channel. So at number 5 on this week's episode of Top Knockouts, starting off the list, Maycee Barber versus Hannah Cifers. Now Maycee Barber started on Dana White's Contender Series, ended up getting an impressive victory which warranted her a UFC contract, and Maycee made her UFC debut on the 10th of November 2018 against Hannah Cifers. And in the second minute of the second round, Maycee Barber turned into Maycee Bomber, because she was dropping bombs on Hannah Cifers' head via ground and pound. And what made this so interesting is it was so captivating and mesmerizing that even the referee Kevin McDonald stared in admiration and for a couple of seconds forgot about his job, looking at the fight like, someone probably has to step in and stop this. Like he was the dictator telling Maycee Barber, you know,
disagree, my friend. Okay.
Maycee started with elbows but then transitioned to hand grenades, and it basically took Hannah Cifers to look like she was being chased by someone that wanted to wear her face. For Kevin McDonald to think, I should probably stop this. Because Kevin knew Maycee wasn't gonna stop, but Hannah could potentially stop. Breathing. And Kevin McDonald jumped in and stopped the fight. Listen, shout out to Hannah Cifers for being extremely tough, extremely durable. Shout out to Maycee Barber for aggravated assault. And shout out to Kevin McDonald for thinking this is Mortal Kombat. An insane performance by Maycee Barber. Absolutely brutal ground and pound gives her the number 5 spot on this list. Then at number 4, Ludovit Klein versus Shane Young. Another fighter whose debut is on this list. So Ludovit Klein made his debut inside of the UFC on the 26th of September 2020 against Shane Young, and in the second minute of the very first round, Ludovit Klein delivered what would later become his coveted speed of light left head kick from Ludovit. And even though Shane had his arms up and blocked it, it didn't matter, because that left head kick blasted through Shane's guard, rang his bell, then Ludovit proceeded to absolutely blast his doors off with a right uppercut followed by a left hook, sent Shane to the canvas. And then for good measure, because Ludovit is a nice guy, he gave him a takeaway left hook. Now, Ludovit Klein's left high kick, I think, could genuinely possibly decapitate someone. If that thing hits, your head might go. If this was 300 years ago, they could have genuinely substituted the guillotine with Ludovit's left head kick. Whenever you get sentenced, they bring him out from behind the bleachers and he just delivers one and you cease to exist. Ludovit's striking is out of this world, which is exactly where he ended up sending Shane Young. An impressive performance by Ludovit. This was methodical, this was technical, clinical, basically any adjective you could use that ends in an AL. Diabolical. And then let's not forget impressive. Insane performance by Ludovit Klein, number 4 on this list. Then at number 3, Ramiz Brahimaj versus Mickey Gall. Now this is how Ramiz started his UFC career. So Ramirez ended up losing in his debut, but then he won his second fight, but then he lost his third fight, but then he won his fourth fight, but then he lost his fifth fight, and you guessed it, he won in his sixth fight inside the UFC against Maycee Gall, a fight that was scheduled for the 16th of November 2024. And in the first round, Ramirez looked really impressive, used his jab to great effect, and he was so comfortable because usually he fights out of an orthodox stance. He switched to southpaw and ended up delivering a check right hook which basically landed flush on Maycee's temple, folded him like a lawn chair, and Maycee Gall was knocked out. Ramirez proceeded to land a couple of follow-up shots, even though safe to assume that Maycee was, by that point, he was knocked out, but you can never be too safe in these streets. An insane performance by Ramirez, showcasing how natural switching stances comes to him, because you can see when he throws that right hook, he is preparing to switch stance once again, go back to orthodox and load up on whatever will be next. It is really impressive seeing someone's footwork aligned with how they strike, being so comfortable that inside of the pocket, inside of the void, he can switch stances and he's comfortable with that. It is insane. A beautiful knockout from Ramirez, an insane performance. It's number 3 on this list just because it was flush, and yeah, the follow-up shots wasn't even necessary. So, an impressive knockout from Ramirez Brahimaj over Maycee Gall, number 3 on this list. Then at number 2, Zachary Reese versus Julian Marquez. So Zachary Reese fought on Dana White's Contender Series in 2023 and he ended up winning on Dana White's Contender Series, received the UFC contract, then fought Cody Brundage in his UFC debut in the same year, ended up losing. So Zachary decided that he was gonna take his revenge out on someone completely different, because he fought Julian Marquez on the 8th of June 2024. This fight didn't last 30 seconds because roundabout at the 15-second mark, Zachary Reese landed a left body kick which could have you cough up your liver, and basically proceeded with a right uppercut that sent Julian Marquez all the way back into the 1980s, proceeded to drop some hammer fists on Julian Marquez's head. Referee said, enough. I'm not Kevin McDonald, I've seen enough. Everything Zachary Reese throws, he throws with intent. Power personified. His left body kick, no one wants to stand in front of that. His right uppercut, nobody wants to eat that. And unfortunately, Julian Marquez had to find out in the worst way possible. The Cuban Missile Crisis had missiles land on his head. Zachary Reese is a big guy with, listen, everything he throws is with the intentions of possibly flatlining his opponent. A lot of power in whatever Zachary Reese throws. An impressive victory. 20 seconds was officially how long the fight lasted, and yeah, he took his revenge. Even though Julian had nothing to do with it, Zachary Reese took his revenge. And then at number 1 on this list, the winner, here we go, Dustin Jacoby versus Vitor Petrino. Now before I get into it, let me just show you what Dustin Jacoby's right hand has done within the UFC. Okay, as you can see, a lot of victims has fell to Dustin Jacoby's right hand, and the latest one, Vitor Petrino. Now Dustin Jacoby fought Vitor Petrino on the 14th of December 2024. And in the 4th minute of the 3rd round, in a fight which Dustin was losing, by the way, Dustin Jacoby uncorked a straight right that landed so flush it could have rotated Vitor's head all the way around so he could see what's on his back.
His bill goes around the back of his head. There was somebody who suffered a deformity like that, yeah. Okay.
Now, even though Vitor could possibly have seen his back, guarantee you the only thing Vitor saw in that moment was the surface of Mars. He got knocked out cold. Now, Dustin did proceed to land one hammer fist, but yeah, the referee knew, everybody knew that Vitor Petrino was knocked out cold. An insane shot, insane cross from Dustin Jacoby. It couldn't have landed any better. It couldn't have been timed any better. And yeah, it is incredible. He basically threw everything he had in that punch, and it was warranted. He was losing the fight, he needed the knockout win, and he got it. An insane performance by Dustin Jacoby, definitely, according to myself, warrants being number 1 on this list. But that's basically this week's video of Top Knockouts. Let me know in the comment section, do you agree with the list? Do you agree with the order? Is there something or someone's knockout that I missed out on? I would really appreciate it. Have a beautiful day, and I'll check you in the next one.